Hello, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Al's Airguns. Hey, today I was doing some more testing on the Oneleaf NV400 day-night scope, which of course I have mounted on our Umarex Komplete NitroAir PCP rifle. And I also did some testing of the NitroAir cartridges in cold weather the other day and wanted to include some cold weather feedback on the scope. As part of that video, this rifle was outside for well over 2 hours, closer to 2.5 hours in temperatures that were 28 to 30 degrees with a 23-mile-an-hour wind that dropped it down to feel like about 11 degrees or colder. And during that time, I was very pleased to see, even at the end, the scope continued to function. Now, having lived in Alaska, I was very familiar with the fact that often batteries will fail in the cold or have reduced lifespan. Was very pleased to see the way that this held up. Worked as well at the end as it did at the beginning. Now I understand, 2.5 hours isn't the longest time in the world, but I thought it was pretty indicative of the performance that they built into it. Now, as far as today, I went out a couple hours before sunrise and I have a little informal range set up in back and just wanted to do some shooting in the dark with the scope again. And I did videotape that, and that follows this introduction. A couple of comments I wanted to make, having lived with the scope for a while. The battery life has been very good all around. The scope is relatively easy to use. It's not overwhelming. It's pretty intuitive. By fiddling with it and playing with it, you can basically learn how to use it without really studying. And yeah, it's actually quite functional. And this morning, what you'll see is I went out and there was just a hint of light in the sky. When you look at the videos, when I'm changing magazines and things, I'll have the rifle up in there and you'll see the little dots that wave around. Hey, those are stars or satellites that we could see still in the quote night sky. And when we look through the scope, unaided, without the IR illuminator or those kind of things, we have a pretty darn good picture. What I call the starlight mode, an unassisted, just using the light gathering capabilities of the scope. I think you'll find it work quite usable. I did go ahead and turn on the IR illuminator and check it at a couple of different levels. It does improve the clarity. Basically, without it, we get more noise in the picture. And as we add the illumination, the picture becomes somewhat more clear, but certainly usable either way. If we find ourselves looking into a dark area, and by dark, I mean where it's blocking ambient light, such as the woods, then the IR illumination is very valuable and often necessary to be able to penetrate that where ambient light just doesn't get through. So I wanted to do a real quick introduction to that. Two actually drawbacks or challenges to the scope that I found is there's not a ton of room here between the bells on either the front of the scope or on the back, where we don't have a lot of room to slide the rings. So when we're doing something like straddling the magazine on the Umarex, there isn't a whole lot of fore-aft adjustability. And you could find yourself a little bit off in terms of eye relief. Now, this one's pretty good the way it landed. If I wanted to fiddle with it a little more, I could perhaps make it better. But as you can see, I'm already hugging the front of that magazine. So I don't know that it would be done easily. I might have to move both rings to the back or do something like that. I think in most instances, you're going to be okay with it, though. The other thing I would mention is the optic is heavier than a standard scope. I believe it's been listed at 3.5 to 4 pounds, and that would be because the laser rangefinder module was originally an option, though, as I understand it, they're tending to bundle it into the base unit now. And also, the IR illuminator, the IR flashlight, is not always included in the base weight of the scope. By the time you've got both of them on, I don't have my postal scale here, but I think you're going to be running up on 4 pounds. Now, that's not incredibly heavy, but the balance is a bit off the way you have it here. The Umarex Komplete's a pretty light gun, and I think the scope weighs about what the gun does, and it's all perched up on the top here which doesn't help the balance. One of the other videos I watched from Officer Greg on Officer Greg Danger Show, he was testing one of these units, and he went ahead and mounted his IR flashlight down on his forearm. He's actually using it on an AR-15, but went ahead and had a mount fashioned here on one of these M-lock rails that he could put the scope on, or the IR flashlight on. I think that would help the balance significantly. I don't know that it's as much a weight issue as it is a balance issue, but that part of it is a little awkward having that much weight high up on the gun. It does really make you want for a bipod on the front of it. Other than that, I've been really impressed. What I found is in a lot of situations, you don't need the additional illumination, but since you have it, it's very nice to use. Now, where we were shooting today is measured off at 25 yards. I just had a target up there and then some sidewalk chalk. I always like to shoot that because it will burst into a nice cloud when you hit it. And, I think I went through 2 magazines out there, did some shooting with it, mainly so that you can get a look at how it performs. As I say, I've been very, very pleased with it. Now, by the time I wrapped up, tore everything down, tripods, camera, all of that stuff, and got it back to the house with it, I was still a good 45 minutes, 50 minutes before sunrise. So the last videos we're shooting down there are still a good hour before sunrise. So there is some light, ambient light that's starting to happen, but nowhere near the brightness you see when looking through this scope. So yes, it was perceivably dark when you looked about, and my camera from here to where I was shooting got nothing but black. So most of the footage from outdoors, or all the footage from outdoors, is actually using the recorder built into the scope. It does shoot up to 4K in color, has lots of options for configuring it. I think being able to record the shots is one of the neatest things about the scope. Now, recording target practice isn't a lot of fun, but if you're using it for hunting, to have a recording of the game you take and the shot and all of that would be very cool. I think that's a super neat feature that's been built into it. And I've not had that in any of my other scopes before. So without further ado, let's look at the footage from the field. And most of that's narrated and pretty much self-explanatory. And other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. So stay tuned for the shooting series. Hey, thanks a lot. See you again soon.
This is my view with the starlight. Got it. Oh, my rust is being wobbly. Very nice. Try for the chalk I've got out there. Alright. Now let's go ahead and kick on. Are we recording? Yes. Kick on our IR illuminator. Oh yeah. That helps a great deal. Go for the chalk. I think we got one. This IR illuminator is currently set on the second level. Now it's on the third level. Looks like I'm a bit right and low. I do like the way the Umarex Komplete shoots. This thing performs way beyond its price point, in my opinion. I understand you have the disposable nitrogen cartridges. Oop, okay. We are out on that one. Switch magazines here. There we go. One of the things that was interesting to me is in most states, you're allowed out in the field, the shortest I've heard of is 30 minutes before sunrise. And you know, I could see going out for squirrels or something with this. And planning to use the day scope at sunrise. But if at dawn, you know, you can go ahead. I think I cocked that. Let me check. Yep. You could go ahead and turn on your night vision to get a clearer shot. I do like the trigger on this gun too. It's adjustable, but I thought it was about perfect out of the box. Also, my particular gun shoots well above the advertised power level. I tend to see about 28, 29 foot-pounds out of this one. Oops, I think I pulled that shot. Try and get those chalks. Oops. Down, low, and right, we thought. There we go. Nailed them. See if we can do that again with what's left. Oop. I'm not sure I got a pellet that time. I have one magazine that wasn't well loaded. I just was partially loaded. There we go. There's some more chalk. It's a nice feeling. Oh, I think I shot it all though. All right, go here. Put these last few in that target. And we will check our time. Nice. Okay, we are out. Now, I've got this recording, so let's go ahead and turn off the illuminator, see what that does to our image. Yeah, we're pre-dawn here. I'll take the camera and show you the horizon. You know, there's a little bit of light in the sky, so yeah, that little bit of light is more than adequate. Let me show you the woods and whatnot around here. You know, when you get into the woods, you need the illumination. And there we have the illumination going again. I got an alarm going off. And that's no fun in the video, so I'm going to go ahead and call it. And hey, thanks for watching this, and thanks for sticking with me to the end. I will see you folks on the next one.